early in the morning on January 14th, 1969, while on the aircraft carrier Enterprise. I'd finished my 12-hour shift as a baker. And normally when I finished my shift, I'd go to the gym, work out for a little while and calm down and relax, but I was lazy this day. And I took a shower, was getting ready for bed, when a thud shook the entire 200,000-ton ship. And general quarters was sounded. General quarters, this is not a drill. All personnel report to your duty stations. I put my clothes back on, went to my duty station, and a gentleman there pointed to me and several others, says, "You follow me." And we went up a few decks to a room I'd never been before, and he pointed to this 5-gallon cans, and he said, "Each grab a can and take it up to mid-deck, flight deck." So I put the can on my shoulder, was going up, stepped on the O3 level just below the flight deck, when a 1-ton bomb went off, and the percussion threw me down the ladderway, back down that ladderway, knocking me unconscious. I don't know how long I was out, but I woke up and I was covered in debris, and I was told to get to sick bay, and I was in pain. But when I got to sick bay, I happened to be one of the cooks who had first aid training, and the guy who did the first aid training instructed me to do some stuff. And I worked there in sick bay, helping out, and until I had I received 2 morphine shots for my pain, and started getting a little woozy, and they released me. But they didn't release me to go back to bed and rest. Released me to go back to the kitchen and start cooking. Well, while that when I came to after the bottom of the stairs, the bombs had stopped, but there was gunfire. And the gunfire came from Marines who were on the catwalk. The catwalk was right underneath on the outside of the ship, underneath the flight deck. And these Marines were shooting sharks to prevent the sharks from getting the people who had fallen into the water, while bombs were going off over their heads. I admire these Marines for their tenacity. But anyway, I got back to the galley, I did my thing, and I was in pain. And one day, the day or two later, I was coming out of the bakery holding a big tray of donuts, and I guess I had overdosed on pain medication, passed out, and donuts went flying all over the place. That's when I started getting the treatment for the pain, and better sleeping arrangements and things like that. But someone had seen me when I was unconscious, someone in my squadron, and when it came time for the attendance to be taken, so we knew who was lost, I was part of a squadron, but I was TAD to the galley. So I went to the galley to check in. Well, someone from the squadron who had seen me unconscious thought I had died, reported me as dead. And then when I was cooking and someone came through the line, recognized that I wasn't dead. I think the report says, well, I'll get to that later. They brought phones on the hangar bay so we could call home. So I got to call home and tell my mom that she was going to get a notice that I was dead. And I quoted Harry Truman, who plagiarized Mark Twain. Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Luckily, like I said, my mom had not received the notice that I was dead.